Get ready for the biggest tennis drama. Aryna Sabalenka has dropped a bombshell, calling for a full boycott of the French Open unless players receive a significantly larger share of the tournament's prize money. This is a massive statement coming from the world number one, and we dive deep into what this means for the future of the sport.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSocket's Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
The tension is escalating as top stars like Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz join Sabalenka in expressing deep disappointment over the current prize money structure at Roland Garros. We break down exactly what the players are demanding and why they feel the current situation is unacceptable for their careers. But this isn't just about the money. Players are fighting for much more. We explore the broader fight for better representation, crucial health options, and pensions across all 4 Grand Slam tournaments, and hear the cautious warnings from figures like Iga Swiatek about the potential extremes. We look at the bigger picture, the power struggle between the Grand Slams, the ATP Tour, the WTA Tour, and the players themselves, and whether unionizing is the next big move. Don't miss this full breakdown of the tennis revolution. Stay with us for more. Tennis stars are threatening a boycott of the French Open unless they secure a larger share of tournament prize money, according to a joint statement released by several top players. Aryna Sabalenka led the call, expressing deep disappointment over the current prize money distribution. Speaking on Sky Sports Tennis, Sabalenka stated, "Without us, there wouldn't be a tournament and there wouldn't be that entertainment. I feel like we deserve to be paid more. I think at some point we will boycott it. I feel like that's going to be the only way to fight for our rights." Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz were also included in the joint statement, expressing dissatisfaction. This sentiment comes despite organizers revealing an overall increase in prize money for the French Open, which has risen by approximately 10% to £53.5 million, up from last year's figure. While the singles champions will receive £2.4 million, €2.8 million, this amount represents only a marginal increase of about £200,000 compared to the previous year's payouts for players like Alcaraz and Coco Gauff. However, the players' statement contended that the underlying financial figures do not reflect the true value created by the athletes. Beyond prize money, the players are also demanding better representation, improved health options, and better pension schemes across all 4 Grand Slam tournaments. The collective message highlights a persistent lack of meaningful change. The statement, issued on behalf of Sabalenka, Sinner, Alcaraz, Iga Swiatek, and others, criticized the decision-makers, noting that the prize money increase fails to address structural issues raised over the past year. The players argued there has been no engagement on player welfare or progress toward establishing a formal consultation mechanism within Grand Slam decision-making. They concluded that the Grand Slams remain resistant to change, reflecting a system that fails to adequately represent the interests of those central to the sport's success. Top-ranked women's tennis star Aryna Sabalenka has escalated tensions regarding prize money distribution, threatening a boycott of Grand Slam tournaments if players do not secure a larger share of tournament revenue. Sabalenka voiced this sentiment during a speech at the Italian Open on her 28th birthday, stating, "Without us, there wouldn't be a tournament, and there wouldn't be that entertainment. I feel like definitely we deserve to be paid more percentage." She explicitly added, "I think at some point we will boycott it. I feel like that's going to be the only way to fight for our rights." These comments follow a statement of deep disappointment issued by leading players, including world number 1 Jannik Sinner, concerning the prize money at the French Open. Players are also pushing for broader improvements, including better representation, health provisions, and pensions across all 4 Grand Slam events: the Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. While French Open organizers recently announced a 10% increase in overall prize money, reaching €61.7 million, £53.3 million, the players argue that the underlying financial situation remains concerning. They claim their share of tournament revenues is set to diminish, with Roland Garros's player revenue share projected to drop from 15.5% in 2024 to 14.9% by 2026. Offering a more measured response, four-time French Open champion Iga Swiatek urged caution. She emphasized the need for dialogue, stating, "The most important thing is to have proper communication and discussions with the governing bodies, so we have some space to talk and maybe negotiate." Swiatek cautioned against extreme measures, adding that while she hoped for meetings before Roland Garros, boycotting the tournament, it's a bit extreme kind of situation. French Open organizers have yet to issue a formal response to the players' statement. The main draw of the French Open is scheduled to commence on May 24th and conclude on June 7th. Top tennis players, including world No. 1 Aryna Sabalenka and Jannik Sinner, have voiced deep disappointment regarding the prize money structure at the French Open, suggesting a potential boycott of Grand Slam tournaments if players do not receive a larger share of tournament revenue. Speaking at the Italian Open, Sabalenka stated, "Without us there wouldn't be a tournament and there wouldn't be that entertainment. I feel like definitely we deserve to be paid more percentage," adding, "I think at some point we will boycott it. I feel like that's going to be the only way to fight for our rights." The players are also demanding improved representation, better health options, and enhanced pension plans from the 4 Grand Slam tournaments, which include the Australian Open, US Open, and Wimbledon. While French Open organizers recently announced a 10% increase in overall prize money, bringing the total pot to €61.7 million, the players countered that the underlying financial situation remains unfavorable. They cited declining revenue shares, noting that the players' share of Roland Garros tournament revenue has dropped from 15.5% in 2024 to a projected 14.9% in 2026. Jasmine Paolini, who reached the final of both the French Open and Wimbledon in 2024, indicated that a boycott was a viable option, emphasizing unity between the men and women. Paolini pointed out that the WTA and ATP Tour provide more comprehensive benefits, such as maternity leave and retirement plans, which the Grand Slams are reportedly lacking. However, four-time French Open champion Iga Swiatek cautioned against extreme measures, stating, "Boycotting the tournament, it's a bit extreme kind of situation." Swiatek stressed the importance of open communication, hoping for opportunities to hold such discussions before the next French Open. In contrast, the Australian Open and US Open have shown positive movement, with the Australian Open increasing player compensation by 16% this year, and the US Open prize money rising by 20% last year. French Open organizers have not yet responded to the players' statement. Tennis players are voicing significant dissatisfaction regarding the prize money structure at major tournaments, with the 2026 French Open purse being a focal point for these concerns. Top athletes, including Aryna Sabalenka and Jannik Sinner, have expressed disappointment, arguing that the current revenue share is insufficient compared to their demands. Players are seeking a larger percentage of tournament revenue, projecting a 14.9% share this year, which falls significantly short of the 22% they have requested from Grand Slams. The core issue extends beyond Grand Slam earnings. A deeper power struggle is evident among the Grand Slams, the ATP Tour, the WTA Tour, and the players themselves. Players feel their opinions are frequently overlooked, and they demand greater input into long-term issues such as pension plans and healthcare. The tour currently treat players as independent contractors, imposing mandatory availability requirements in exchange for ranking points and financial incentives, even if players choose not to compete. While the prospect of unionizing is debated, with questions raised about the feasibility for individual athletes compared to team sports, it is being considered as a potential avenue. This discussion follows precedents set by professional golf, where player segregation and financial manipulation have occurred. Despite these structural challenges, players have achieved some success, notably through increased prize money allocated for qualifying round winners and early round participants. However, financial disparities remain stark. players ranked outside the top 100 continue to struggle financially to cover essential costs like coaching, travel, and equipment. Furthermore, top-ranked players often generate greater income through sponsorships and endorsements, frequently surpassing their direct tournament winnings.